Hey, it's me, Moira, and this is another project. I wanted to start that like a couple of weeks ago, actually, but I've never made it because like I didn't have the time. But today I want to push through it, and I want to like establish something like Creepy Friday or something, so that every Friday I actually do something that is a little bit creepy, like react to things on Reddit or react to YouTube videos that have like this kind of topics and all that, because I like creepy shit. I like to get creeped out, but I'm kind of skeptical person as well, so I'm not like just reading ghost stories and pretend everything is real. That's actually the reason why I took like creepy encounters, which if you look at the rules here, wait a second, like this, like there's only one in-person encounters and no paranormal stories, right? So let's see if there's something interesting. Let's just start. I hope the rain is comfy in the background, and yeah, let's see. Okay, we have a stalking co-worker. Okay, that's not really something special. A weird man approached me at Walmart. Okay, let's do this. I apologize for this long entry, but I want to be thorough and explain everything. This event happened to me in the fall of last year. I was 18 at the time, and I'm a female. For some context, I live in a small touristy town in the southeast of United States. I was shopping for some food in my local Walmart that I frequently visit. For context, during this week there was a huge festival going on, so we had a lot of out-of-state visitors, everything much busier than usual. So I don't know what this is actually. I've never seen this before on Reddit, but whatever. I was in the freezer section looking around, and this man around age of 25 approached me. He's talking about how pretty I am. Yeah, that's a red flag, bro. And how he just had to approach me because him and his friends saw me. I did see these guys prior in another aisle, but you know what? This is weird. This is like super fucking weird. Okay, let's keep pushing, okay? I did see these guys prior in another aisle, but they hadn't said anything or doing anything to brand attention, so I just let it be. He said he usually doesn't go for white girls, but his friend would love to hang out with me. He had a hat and a beard. Okay, is this like a neck beard? A hat and a beard, so... okay. Appeared to be of Latin South American descent. He didn't have any heavy accent, indicating that he probably is native to the US. He said he was from New Jersey, big red flag, bro, and visiting the festival for the weekend. He said he wanted to get my number so I could show him his friends around. So I could show him and his friends around town. He was also asking about other things to do in the area. Mind you, while he was with his friend in the store, his friend was not talking to me with him. His friend just further up the aisle, just staring and looking at the interaction. Okay, that's kind of weird. Obviously being weirded out by wanting to be cautious let him know that I have a boyfriend and I'm not interested, which is true. But I wanted to be calm and gentle about it to avoid an escalation in his behavior. I don't know. Sometimes this is not the real way to deal with that, okay? You don't have to go like full tsundere with him, but playing nice is probably not getting you anywhere in this case. So when you are fucking weirded out, just tell him to fuck off. Like, what's going to happen? Okay, but whatever. He said that's too bad, but still wanted my Snapchat. Again, telling him no, that I'm not interested and have a boyfriend. See, he's repeating this request, so this is gonna be very weird. So I don't know if you have to be polite in this situation anymore. Again, you don't have to become aggressive, but honestly, like, those kind of people don't take a no for an answer, especially not like if it's a friendly no. Even if I didn't have a boyfriend, there's no way I would hang out with this guy or his friend, as their demeanor was off. He walks away, but I notice him and his friends don't have a card or any items in their hands. So maybe they're trying to rob you or worse, I don't know. I quickly walk away to another aisle and just keep an eye out. I text my boyfriend about the weird situation. Like, why? Well, what's your boyfriend going to do in this situation? Like, he's probably miles away. So why? This is like the most Gen Z shit I've ever read, right? I text my boyfriend about the weird situation just to let someone know about what was happening. Oh, okay, that's like, okay, if I'm go missing, like, what? That doesn't make sense, actually. I later see the guy who approached me alone pacing to another part of the store, again with no items in the hand. 10 minutes later, I'm checking out and I see the guys and his friends in front of the store near the checkout area with no bags or items, but they're just talking and looking in my direction. I finish checking out and I look out before exiting and to make sure I'm not being followed. I go through another exit near my car in an attempt to not be seen. I get into my car through the parking lot with no issue or sign of them. So maybe these guys are just flirting or something? I don't know. I don't see like... Yeah, sometimes you get like talked to and you don't want to, so you have to tell people to piss off or whatever. But this isn't really like so at least as concerning what I've seen here, this is not really a dangerous situation, is it? Not yet, at least. Okay, let's read on. I'm sitting in my car, turning it on, and I see the man who approached me in the parking lot, but an aisle over, like scanning around, looking for something or someone, maybe me. Yeah, the whole road is like churning around you, right? I quickly leave and pull out of my spot, since it is busy and crowded. Leaving the lot took time because of a backup of cars. But I finally turn, and behind me, probably, I see a car with a New Jersey license plates behind me. Fuck, learn how to write, girl. Freaked out, I change lanes and speed up and go on alternate route. This is harder to follow, especially if you're not familiar with the area. I lose the car and carry on to my boyfriend's house, checking behind me, often to assure I'm not being followed by the same car. Nothing else happened. So actually, I don't know. This might be some Gen Z shit. I don't know if she's really been followed. I'm not convinced, actually. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure what those guys' motives were. Maybe it was just some weird guys trying to pick up a girl, but something with them popping up on my same aisles and continually not having items in their carts when I saw them again 30 minutes later tells me something more disturbing was being plotted. It was very random, and I guess I could be an easy target due to me being alone in a busy area. So no, it's a busy area. And I'm a younger woman. I think about this event every now and again, and I think what could have happened if I wasn't more aware of my surroundings. Yeah, you're it, girl. That you're totally it. It's just because of your survival instincts that you haven't, I don't know, been kidnapped or whatever. Some people may think I'm paranoid, but I just felt like there was too many boxes being ticked off in terms of suspicious behavior coming from a stranger. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Actually, no. Seriously, like this could be anything, right? This is guys approaching a girl and she doesn't feel well about it. It's totally okay to not feel well about this. Then just tell them to fuck off. And if they keep going, you know what you're up to, what they are up to, right? But basically this I have a boyfriend shit, some people don't take this kind of like mild no for an answer. And maybe this guy just had a crush on her. I don't fucking know. Like his friend or so. I don't know. Not an interesting story at all. So let's see. Stay aware. That looks great. This is in caps. So, and this isn't too much. Okay. Right before Thanksgiving in 2014, my mom texted me a list of last-minute things to grab. I pulled out my phone to look at the list and almost walked into a car that was backing up. I did one of those awkward wave apologies and mouthed sorry. But 20 minutes later, I walked out of the store and saw a car blocking mine. It looked familiar, but I couldn't place it at the time. The driver stared me down, then drove to the front of the store like he was waiting for someone to come out. I brushed it off, but there was this chill I couldn't quite explain. So, what? Okay, that's kind of weird. That's much weirder than the first thing. I decided to leave the store in a direction where I could keep an eye on the car just to make sure he wasn't going to follow me. Well, joke was on me. I saw him exit the lot and start driving slowly in the lane next to me. Again, I brushed it off. Surely it was just a coincidence. No, this is pretty much not a coincidence. Like the other story, I am not sure about this, but to be honest, yeah, I don't think this is a coincidence. Still, I decided not to head towards my house. Yeah, that's smart, actually. We got to a stoplight and he pulled up right next to me, staring me down, and he looked livid. It sent shivers down my spine. At the next light, I waited a second after it turned green before moving. He sped off and quickly turned right and did a U-turn, ending up at another light. Y'all, yeah, this is a Texan, right? Like, I'm from Germany. I don't know, like, the specific American terms, but y'all is pretty much Texas, right? Please write in the comment if you know anything about this. But I'm pretty sure this is Texas. Even I know that. He had also done a U-turn after going straight. He was now in the left lane, coming back towards where I was. I saw him take the left, still staring me down. And immediately after, my light turned green. I prayed to God it wouldn't stay green long enough for him to make that U-turn and catch up to me. I swear, the light turned red almost immediately after I went through. I sped home, shaking and crying, and told my parents everything. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept looking out the window, wondering if he had memorized my license plate. But thankfully, nothing ever happened. It didn't hit me until the next day when why the car had looked familiar. It was the same one I had almost walked into. Yeah, okay, so that's kind of weird. But there are weird people out there, right? So, maybe he wanted to teach you a lesson or something. I don't know. Any comments? No, unfortunately not. But this is creepier than the supermarket guys, right? Old couple a few years back. Teenage girl in need of advice on how to handle this. Okay, that doesn't look too... Oh, there are even comments. Okay, great. So let's see here. A daughter here. That's weird. I pull up to Starbucks and I go to get out of my car, and this guy, who clearly is like in his 60s or 70s, said, "Peekaboo, I see you," in one of the most creepy ways to me, which I was freaked out about. Yeah, that's fucking creepy. I hurry into Starbucks, and as I'm ordering, he comes and sticks his finger in between my shoulders and asks me to play checkers. Girl, get the fuck out of there. This is Joe Biden level creepy shit. Don't do it. Then me and the worker looked at each other like, help. I'm a kid and I don't know what to do. Yeah, that's the problem here. She's a fucking kid. This is maybe even a felony. I don't know. He made someone get out of their seat and started eating donut holes with the fork out of his container. Okay. He started shuffling carts and talking to himself. He continued around the store, harassing me and other customers. probably some kind of very weird old guy, maybe drugs, maybe some kind of dementia or something. I went over to the bathroom and tried to hide while waiting for my drink, and he got up from where he was sitting and followed me over there, waving at me and asked me to come closer. Why don't the shop owners do anything about this? I mean, this is a fucking Starbucks, right? Why are they like allowing this in their own shop? This is a reason not to go to Starbucks, seriously. I had to walk past him to get to the front of the Starbucks, so I rushed past him, but he grabbed my tank top. What the fuck? I was so utterly terrified. Yeah, I can totally see that. Like, this is... I think this is a fucking felony. Seriously, as a teenage girl? What? What a fucking creepy old guy. After I left, I got back into my car and he had followed me there too. Dude. I'm confused why all the people that saw this incident didn't do anything to help. Yeah, me too. Like a fucking teenage girl that gets harassed by some weird old guy, like in the 60s or 70s, and nobody's doing something? Like, this is a reason to avoid Starbucks. Like, seriously, I've never been a great fan of Starbucks. Like, I like their pumpkin spice latte, but other than that, like the pumpkin spice during fall is actually the only season that I consider going to Starbucks, to be honest, because I don't know about America, but in Germany, there's so many ways to get good coffee. And I don't really know how Starbucks made it this far in Germany, other than like being a very trendy company. Like, everyone wanted this shit because they wanted to feel like an American or whatever. But actually, Starbucks is... Like, I don't think their coffee is very good. And when I read things like that, like when they allow people to basically harass teenagers in their own shop, this is fucking insane. Like, hands down. He started probably yelling at people through their car windows and chanting something and chasing people around the parking lot. Yeah, it's probably an old crackhead or whatever. Can someone please tell me what to do in this situation? Get the fuck out of there. Complain to the manager that no one actually did anything about this. And this is a really... I'd like to talk to the manager situation. Like, get out of there and then like write an email to the manager and tell them and call the fucking police or whatever. But get out of this fucking situation. It's things like this that make me feel unsafe for women to go out alone. Yeah, totally. You know, I'm living in a kind of a big city myself, and there's always weird people around. Like people that do drugs and all that, and that most of the time it's homeless people or very old people. Sometimes both. But these people creep me out more than anything else. I remember like a crackhead kicking against the kitchen door, like with full force. And no one did anything about this because no one wants to get stabbed by a fucking crackhead. And that's actually a problem. Because like these people can do whatever they want. Because no one really wants to engage with them. It's not like you can go to these people and tell them to fuck off, because they are like totally unpredictable and everyone is just concerned to get out of the situation himself. Like, I think this shouldn't be tolerated in public. Like, people that are like super high on shit and that are threatening people, especially teenage girls, and no one gives a fuck because everyone is just sipping their fucking coffee. That makes me kind of angry, actually. But okay, let's see what the girls say here. It's like, you did a good job of keeping distance and not complying with his demands. Yeah, based. Just add loud words and know you have the right to feel safe. Yeah, whatever. don't be polite. Yeah, that's what I said in the first text. Like, I think this is a problem that many people have, like, especially women. Sometimes they're like too polite. Okay, like they don't want to confront people. They don't want people to feel bad or anything. So they're like, either they are too polite and people don't really read their intentions, or the exact opposite is the case. Like, they're super overly aggressive. Like, you ask them if you can have like their number, and then they're already like, don't touch me, I get the police, leave me alone, help, or whatever. I think there should be some kind of middle ground. That would be perfect. If you're like a little bit like, okay, I don't want to talk to you, please fuck off. In a like a regular normal tone. And then if people still do this, if people still repeat doing this kind of shit, then you can go full Karen. Like, yeah, full Karen. That's exactly what she says here. Like, then go full Karen to the staff. Excuse me, where's the manager? Yeah, exactly. Give this an upvote. This is exactly what I said. This man is bothering me. Why are you fucking allowing that? Like, he was harassing other people as well. So this was not something that is secret, right? And no one fucking got involved, because creepy men and women, yes, some women will do this as well, perfectly correct, rely on your being embarrassed and intimidated. I don't know if they're really calculating that kind of shit. Probably he was just a fucking creep. Old, maybe dementia, maybe drugs, maybe both, I don't know. In the real world, just remind yourself, in the real world, women have to save themselves. Don't rely on strangers or wait for the hero. I think this is kind of biased, but it's also kind of true, I think. So you shouldn't rely on other people, obviously, to help you. Like, because people are super afraid. They are only helping you if they are basically sure that they don't get in any kind of risk. Like, if this was like a regular, normal dude who just had a crush on her and didn't know when to stop, then there would probably a couple of people would have arrived and tell them to fuck off, because they know that this is like this is a zero risk action, right? But as soon as you're dealing with someone who's unpredictable, then people shit themselves. Like these internet warriors, they don't do anything about it. They just sit there and keep sipping their $10 coffee. Fuck that. Touching a minor is an offense, basically, yes. I know that sounds a bit black and white, but I'm sure Redditors can critically think their way to what I mean, yeah. It's basically an offense. Honey, I'm sure this happened to you. I'm sorry, this happened to you, blah, blah, blah. Why is this? Oh, this is marked with whatever this is. I might add 4 locations with people, but without management employees around to active talk to one specific person, like something, yeah, you over there, help me, or whatever. This is something that every self-defense training that is not martial arts would recommend. I don't know if this is really helpful. Like, this is a psychological aspect. I heard that this would help, but personally, I don't fucking know. The easiest thing would be like, get yourself a fucking weapon and defend yourself. This is the only thing that guarantees you some kind of safety, at least. It doesn't really guarantee you that you get away unharmed, but like having a gun or having some other kind of like object that you can use as a weapon is probably your best bet, let's be honest. The Germans never understand this kind of shit. Whatever, okay? Be this one person, especially when you're in danger yourself, by actively choosing someone and give them a solid command request. Call the police, blah, blah, yeah. Yeah. Fuck protocol, this is real life. Hello, if you feel something weird is happening, do something about it. If you feel unequipped to intervene, absolutely request help, whether from other people nearby or police. Yeah, okay. So this is, stop worrying about protocols. Yeah, this is something as well. I don't know who brought this up with protocols here. I'm a Starbucks employee at another store and didn't know what the like protocol was for this type of thing. I didn't know if it was appropriate for me to call the police or something. Thank you, this helped. What? Yeah, obviously it would be okay to touch the police. I don't know if they have like a fucking protocol for this in Starbucks. I know, like I've watched on YouTube, I've watched a video where there was like a huge kind of bar fight at a McDonald's restaurant, and the employees basically did nothing. They just sat there behind like the counter, and they waited for everything to end until the people actually beat themselves up and leave the place. I think if you're like a wage cuck in McDonald's or Starbucks or whatever, you probably just want to be safe and you don't want to make any mistakes. Like you don't want to get into a fight with other people. I have to be honest with that and I have to be fair with that. But I think you could still call the fucking police. Like if you see like an old creepy person, like doing some creepy stuff to a teenage girl, I don't know if this is like a high risk situation for you. If you just go to him and tell him to fuck off, or you're gonna kick his ass or whatever. I think everyone is going to love you for that shit. But whatever, maybe I'm just a little bit weird about this. So, finally, an interesting situation. Lady doing ritual outside my hotel room. Oh, fuck, that's awesome. Okay, for reference, I'm staying at a very luxurious resort in Hawaii. Not a place I have my guard up. This happened last night. I have a little patio that you can only access through a small path that isn't easy to find. I'm trying to say it's very out of the way to end up on this patio, and it's surrounded by plants. Not a place you'd just wander. I woke up to pee at 1 a.m. and the moonlight was illuminating my bathrooms. Yeah, you had a very, very beautiful holidays in fucking Hawaii. Yeah. Cope. I see a flicker in the moonlight and think someone's just walked behind me outside, and that's when I see a woman on my patio crouch down and neatly place her shoes on the floor. I could hear the soles hit the tile. She then disrobes except for her underwear, stares straight up to the moon and starts doing these erratic hand movements to the sky. I was so out of it that I couldn't believe what I was seeing. She did this for about 15 minutes, and then when I checked back, she left. My room was pitch black, so I don't think she could see in, but I peed, closed the bathroom door, and coughed in an attempt to announce my presence. And nothing. I'm pretty freaked out. Any idea what could have happened? Long story, lady on my balcony doing weird ritual. So, this is probably some Wicca shit. If she gave some kind of ethnical information about how the woman looked or something, we could actually like maybe specify that a little bit more if it was like Wicca or voodoo or whatever. But I mean, if this is like a full moon at like 1 a.m., this is 100% some kind of Wicca shit. Yeah, you already have the answer. Someone doing a ritual. That's what happened, right? What did the hotel manager or security say when you called and reported this? Edited. Never mind. I see that you did. But you waited too long to do so. You observed this behavior for 15 minutes. It was me paying an arm and a leg to be a luxurious resort. I would have called them within minutes of this, and 15 minutes would have given security more than enough time to catch her, yeah. But boobies, 15 minutes for free boobies. Yeah, that, maybe, I don't know. Most likely a ritual for herself. I think that's exactly what's true. I wouldn't be surprised if the resort was built somewhere that was previously very special to her family. Is this a Hawaiian girl? Okay. I don't know about Hawaiian magic. I don't actually know anything about Wicca as well. I know that Wicca was very fucking popular during the pandemic. But other than that, I don't really know much about this. I think Wicca is 100% for white girls. Whatever. Edit. I called the hotel security and they didn't see anyone in the area. Anyone have an idea what it could have been? Yeah, probably a ritual for herself. I think that's correct. Oftentimes in ritual, people want both privacy, but also direct moonlight. Your patio just happened to be the right combination. This isn't that unusual for pagans. You're lucky or unlucky she didn't get asked. She's not hurting anything and might even be indirectly be bringing you luck or well-being. Defer B and count yourself lucky that you got a first-hand experience of a native ritual. I don't know about that, bro. I mean, yeah, kind of, but if someone was doing this, like on my balcony, I wouldn't really be freaked out by it. Maybe I was, I don't know, but no. I was fucking pissed off. Like, these are my fucking holidays. Do your fucking voodoo shit somewhere else, bitch. Is she bothering anyone? Yeah, me. She's on OP's private balcony. Yeah, that's exactly. Case closed. Okay, whatever. Some other encounters: approached by strangers at the mall as a teenager, men making pictures, creepy lady in the alleyway, creepy ladies in the alleyway. No, I'm not gonna read all of that. People followed me home. Kid banged on my door crying for help at 3 a.m. Okay, that's creepy enough to read all that shit. I think I said this in one of the videos before, that I was pretty freaked out about this black eye kids incidents that were reported somewhere in the 90s and 2000s. And I would never want to experience that. So at 3 a.m., this is a red flag actually, because like demonic things always happen on 3 a.m. That's what people think. So when someone says around 3 a.m., I'm already a little bit skeptical, but okay, let's keep reading. So this happened last night around 3 a.m. Me and my brother were woken up by loud banging and crying at our front door. We live in a rough neighborhood, so naturally my brother grabs his shotgun, cocks it loudly, and starts yelling, "It's 3 a.m., go away," through the door. What? We were both tired as hell and freaked out. Okay. So me and my brother were woken up by loud banging and crying at our front door. We live in a rough neighborhood, so naturally my brother grabs his shotgun, cocks it loudly, and starts yelling. I don't believe any of that. We'd recently had a girl from the neighborhood break into my car, so we assumed it might be her. I looked through the front door's window. Oh, fuck. I don't know if you hear that. Like, right now, as I'm recording this, there's a fucking thunderstorm out there, and I'm not talking about the background noises here, but actually in my room. Like, it's super fucking loud. So I hope that you don't hear that through the mic. We'd recently had a girl from the neighborhood break into my car, so we assumed it might be her. I looked through the front door's window. We got a one-way film on it and didn't see anyone else around. I crouched near the door and listened. It sounded like a young kid, completely hysterical, begging us to help her call her mom. I told her I was calling 911. That's the only thing you do in this situation. Right? And I mean, if he's really got a shotgun based as a German, you have my full appreciation for that. I wish I had this, I was allowed to have this kind of shit. This would make me feel so much more safe that you know that if someone enters your house without your consent, you just do it, right? And it's totally legit in my opinion, but whatever. In full adrenaline mode, opens the door, still holding his shotgun, and starts yelling at her to calm down. I didn't agree with his approach, but in all fairness, she woke up about half the block from her screaming while she was pressed up against our door. After he opened the door, I got to see her. Honestly, I was kind of hoping it was a homeless person from our area or even someone looking to do some weird shit to us, but it was a kid. And the look in her eyes while she was kneeling at our doorstep made my heart drop. I was thinking she was around 14, but she said someone crashed into her car down the street, and she left her phone in the rack so she couldn't call her mom. Things weren't really adding up as I asked her a few more questions. She kept begging me to go down the street with her. No. But I told her no way, we're waiting for the cops. About 10 minutes later, 3 tow trucks drive by, heading towards where we told 911 the crash happened, so I felt safe enough to walk with her down the street. On the way, she keeps asking to hold my hand, and I'm just thinking, you look like a teenager, you're barely dressed, and I'm a grown man walking through the neighborhood that you woke up. Not a good look. Yes. To be honest, this is a very, very fucking smart move. So if this story is true, and I'm not entirely sure about this, this is very, very smart, very clever. I awkwardly asked how old she was. She said 18 and grabbed my hand anyway. I felt very uncomfortable, but her emotions were definitely outweighing mine at the time. Okay. Halfway there, the cops show up. I flag them down, explain the situation. Meanwhile, she's telling the officers over and over I have really bad ADHD and anxiety. Fuck me. While handing me her eyelashes. What? A full set of false lashes. I really didn't want to touch them, but I took them just to help her feel a little safer or whatever. What? What the fuck? One of the cops pull her aside and the other starts casually asking me a few questions. He told me they got another call about 30 minutes before that a teenager was running across someone's lawn barefoot, which I looked over and realized she was barefoot the whole time. Then I saw them cuff her. I think they suspected she was on something, which I was 50-50 thinking, yeah, maybe she was on drugs. As we are wrapping up, the officers sees me still holding the eyelashes and goes, "What are you gonna do with those, bro?" Bro? Okay, sir. I just told him I'll sleep on it. I just want to go back to bed. I head home and started talking to one of the neighbors about it. He assumed that it was her parents' house or something, so he didn't want to get involved in domestic drama. Makes sense, and I just assumed that's why no one else got involved. I couldn't really go back to sleep because I was shaken up and pretty worried about her. I imagine it was a traumatic experience for her. I don't know if that was a justified reaction for a situation, or if she really was on drugs or mentally ill, but I will definitely be praying for her and her family. I don't know about that, honestly. This always sounds like a scam, because, like, cute young girls don't knock at your door at 3 a.m. Like, the chances for that, the probability for this happening is, I think, almost the zero, right? So she was up to something. So either she was high or that was like a major setup or something. So what does system says? I've opened the door to one of these. Same idea, kid freaking out, me not trusting with a gun in hand. Sometimes people just need help. We mostly only hear about the bad situations, but you did good, broski. Stay strong. I also opened my door to one single older lady. The girl was barefoot and it was snowing. She sat in my living room and cried until the police came. I inspected her feet and gave her some socks. Poor kid ran away from foster care. That was some years... Oh, yeah, that might actually be a thing. That might be a thing when they're like runaways. Okay, so this happens... Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this happens more often than I think. I've been the kid in this situation, except we were young adults, cruising around out in the country in Oklahoma near a river, and on a dark road there was a boat ramp at the end of the hairpin turn. We drove right into the water, didn't realize how deep it was, and were dunked fully underwater getting out. It was February and freezing. We walked for 45 minutes before we found a house. I was crying, thinking we would freeze to death. Okay. A very similar thing happened to my family when I was 10. That is a major nope. If you do feel so inclined, tell her to sit on the porch and you will call the police. Never open your door, as this is a common dodge for home invasion. This is 100% true. And I think the probability that this is happening is much, much larger, much higher than everything else. Like, I think that the only really thing you could do in this situation is like, okay, I'm gonna call the police. You can stay at my door until the police arrives, but I'm not going to let you in. And instead, I'm going to close everything, right? A young teenage girl once knocked on my elderly mother-in-law's front door in the middle of the day in England. Said she was looking for her nan who lived down the road, but who wasn't home. Acted distressed and asked if she could have a drink of water. Mother-in-law took her in the kitchen and gave her a glass of water. Girl took it with her fingers, bent in so her patch didn't touch the glass. Mother-in-law thought it strange, but thought she was disabled. Next thing, she heard a noise in her bedroom and was hit and knocked to the ground as a man ran out of the house with the girl and her valuables. Yeah. They're gonna open the back door or whatever for someone else, and then you were basically fucked. It was the one bloody night where we didn't call and check on her as one of the kids was unwell and it slipped out minds. If she hadn't answered the phone, we would have gone straight round when she didn't answer. Okay. I was the girl knocking at a stranger's door in the night once. I caught the last bus home and I noticed a man on the opposite side of the street was following me. Matching my speed, speeding up, slowing down, stopping when I stopped, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is some creepy shit. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he made the right call. Yeah, basically this guy over here did everything right. I mean, they had a fucking shotgun, so if anyone was going to do something stupid, the shotgun would have solved this problem. But again, most of the time, this is not a good idea, I think. I don't think this is a good idea. Euro was and made the poor girl's night even worse. Next time you need help in an emergency, think of this and remember help isn't coming. Tragedy forever. Yeah, username checks out. What a fucking idiot. Please actually inform us on how we should proceed in this sort of situation. If you have literally no way of seeing who is at your front door, first off, bad security. Yeah, okay, this is Captain Obvious here, right? Bad security, you have to keep everything in mind. And you have to, like, have an eye on everything. Second, grab a weapon of some sort just in case. Set your foot behind the door. Yeah, this is John Wick, right? I found John Wick, guys. We found him. Then give the poor 14-year-old girl whatever she needs for help because you're an adult and there's... What a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot, sir. I'm gonna downvote the shit out of him. I'm gonna upvote everyone who's arguing against him. But okay, this post is 1 month ago. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. In 10 minutes, I was sitting next to her and yeah, he actually did everything right. So why would anyone... Oh yeah, look at this. He actually has like a black belt and whatever. This is like a total idiot. Don't listen to this guy here. Don't let strangers in. Like, it's not relevant if it's like a 14-year-old girl, because after the 14-year-old girl, a 30-year-old guy is gonna get into your house and beat the shit out of you and take, I don't know, take your Funky Pop collection or whatever. Whatever, okay. Let's read another one. Come on. This is fun. So this is actually a good encounter. So that was kind of amusing. A creepy guy followed me. Strange lady with a knife. Creepy guy at the restaurant I work at has me questioning my safety. Old couple hit on me. This is always the same shit, right? Strange lady from the hallway. Okay, that's long enough. I live in Brazil, more specifically in Rio de Janeiro. There's an island here called Paqueta, where one of my aunts lives. It's quite isolated place, no cars, no motorcycles. The only way to get around is by bike, peaceful, or so I thought. I went there to help my aunt with her move. Everything was going fine until her, let's say, peculiar neighbor showed up. The apartment building had this long, narrow hallway with about 30 apartments. At both ends, there were staircases leading to the second floor, creating this never-ending loop of corridors. The place already felt unsettling. Something about the narrowness and silence just felt off. As we were moving boxes, I noticed an old lady approaching. She actually seemed friendly, smiled, said, "Good morning," and walked past me towards the stairs. I replied, of course. A few minutes later, there she was again, coming from the opposite side of the hallway, same polite smile. "Good morning." At first I brushed it off, maybe she was just walking back and forth, harmless, until it happened a third, fourth, and fifth time. Same path, same forced smile, same exact greeting. I mean, yeah, these are old people. Sometimes they do shit like this. I asked my aunt who she was. "Oh, that's just an elderly neighbor," she said. "She lives upstairs with her children." But then she stopped walking. She stood completely still at the very end of the hallway, just staring, unmoving, silent. I tried not to look directly at her, but I could feel her eyes following every step I took. She didn't blink, she didn't say anything, just stood there watching. And then, as quietly as she appeared, she was gone, disappeared. I know if she was just an odd old lady or if there's something else going on, but one thing's for sure, I really hope I don't run into her again. Not anytime soon, not ever. Dementia, yeah, that might actually be it. I think this is fucking dementia. Dementia is a demon. It robs us of who we were and who we are. OP, be kind towards old people. They've been through stuff and it all isn't nefarious. I came here to say dementia. Yeah, I think it's dementia, I think. Yeah. Okay, this is pretty clear case. So sometimes this sounds very creepy, but I think especially if we're like dealing with old people, dementia is actually the most common thing when they like do like creepy things. The man who asked if I wanted to see what was in his trunk. Nope, never do this. I followed during cross-country move. Okay, nope. Teenage girl in need. Creepy lady in the alleyway. Okay, you know what? Let's do something with creepy PMs. What is that? Someone had a bad day. Starting in June, chat will become the new home for all messaging, blah blah. Ewim, I'm talking to you. Don't care about your situation, but your username kind of pissed me off, so I'm going to find out where you go to campus. Then I will follow you to your class, carrying a bucket filled with my urine, and I will dump it on you in front of everyone. Shouldn't have had that username. See you next semester, lady. Yeah, how unemployed are you? So what's her username? You, I'm talking to you. What? Nah, that's not interesting. Okay, let's read this, Sylvian. Your tiny pea brain couldn't comprehend the fact that I might have accidentally hit the D instead of the T. So you had to correct me, kind of pathetic for a comeback, but okay. Also, I'm a full-time student studying for something I'll actually use, while your ass is probably majoring in something like psychology, sociology, or art. Like, what? Talking down to psychology? Seriously? Like, I do understand why people are shit-talking about, like, arts, maybe even sociology, although, this can be a very tough subject as well, but psychology? Like, people earning a lot of money with fucking psychology. What the fuck is his problem? Whatever. I think this is a narcissistic, maybe paranoid, schizophrenic guy, probably everything at the same time. Now go back to getting shit on by assholes who have no good intentions, for you're incapable of seeing through their facade. Dumb. Because you're incapable. Sorry, I'm typing too fast. What the fuck? What's wrong with this guy? Yeah, he's just shitposting, right? Creepy people. So what do people say about this kind of people? What in the world should happen so you get pissed off enough to DM a person because of their username? Yeah. I'm going to assume he got a Vietnam flashback of a woman saying that to him when he tried to approach and he felt personally attacked by it. Yeah, something like that. Some stress-free life behavior here, yep. Okay, that's not too interesting. Let's get into another subreddit then, just for maybe 1 or 2 more stories. Creepy. Okay, that's really kind of creepy. Anonymity. This painting was sold on eBay in 2000. People said it was haunted. Yeah, I heard this. The story, I know this. This was kind of a meme. This is actually a haunted painting, that it brings like bad luck to people. I heard of this. Back in the 2000s, a painting called The Hands Resist Him popped up on eBay. The sellers claimed it was haunted. You know what? If you want to make some money with like I'm not an artist, but this is like a very generic picture, right? With some creepy hands and maybe mouths in the background. But this is nothing very particularly artistic, right? So if you want to make some money with it, you just tell people that it's haunted or whatever. Yeah, I think that's how you deal with this. They said the figures in the painting moved at night and that the doll threatened the boy with a gun, causing him to try to leave the painting. This is not a gun. Okay, yeah, the painting itself was made in 1972 by artist Bill Stoneham. It shows a young boy and a doll standing in front of a glass door with many hands pressed against the glass behind him. Sonem said the boy was based on a photo of himself at age 5, and the hands represent other lives or possibilities. After the eBay listing went viral, people reported feeling sick or uneasy just from looking at the painting online. Some said their electronics malfunctioned after viewing it. The painting eventually sold over $1,000 and is now owned by Perception Gallery in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yeah, this is how you make art, right? You just have to like find a story. The artist has drawn a few follow-up paintings to it too, following the boy as he grows older. Yeah, whatever. The lady stealing my mother-in-law's lemons seems a little otherworldly. Yeah, she does. This is a wedding dress, is it? Creepy art for my indie game. Okay, these are just creepy pictures. Not too interesting, to be honest. Dark hallway of caged hens in a factory farm where 80% of eggs come from. Small spiders. MRI, blah blah. Okay, no creepy pictures. I'm more into kind of text or whatever, but I think that was kind of fun. I had some fun, and sometimes you learn about this. Like if you like going on like creepy encounters, this is actually a very good encounter if you're like looking for hints. If you get possible like real crime, for example, like human trafficking or house invasion or whatever, sometimes you actually learn a lot when reading these kind of things. Like to what kind of methods criminals use in order to get into your house or whatever. I think this is very good to read. So I hope you had as much fun as I did. I love this kind of shit. Maybe next time I'm going to react to a video, or maybe we'll browse some Reddit as well. Thank you for watching. And yeah, see you next time on kind of, I think I'm gonna call it like Creepy Friday or whatever. But this video is not going to come out on a Friday because tomorrow, like today, there's something else scheduled. Tomorrow, something else scheduled. It's probably going to drop on Sunday, but we'll find out, okay? So I try to do this every Friday and react to something creepy as like some kind of mini series or whatever. And yeah, whatever. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.